Mark, you're
You know how
back.
cool it would be just to be able to shake off your facial hair?
That would be cool. That would save me a lot of time. Um, but we're back after being away for a week, and we're back with two, not one, count them two absolute issues: Absolute Green Lantern number 14, Absolute Superman number 19. We'll get to both of those right after this. Before we get started, don't forget to make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the notification bell so you're alerted whenever we upload new content. And don't forget, leave us a comment. Let us know how we're doing. Let us know how you're enjoying the Absolute line. If you're like the rest of the world and you're enjoying it, or you're like, you know what, I've had enough. I'm ready to move on to something else. Because you would be the only one currently probably that's ready to do that. So. But like I said, we were off last week because there was no absolute issues the previous Wednesday. So we are back today with two. I'm going to start with Absolute Green Lantern, number 14. Back again to getting the first dark page again.
Yeah. Is this Mogo talking? Who is it talking to? Have they revealed who it is
I
talking
think
to him?
I think it is Mogo. I think so.
Like, is it supposed to be Oa talking to him, Mogo,
Or is it where? Or is it like kind of that in between space where all of them are?
that liminal space?
Which
They're
we
inside
see.
the lantern. They revealed in
Yeah.
this issue. Like now, we find out that that's where they went is inside the lantern.
Right. Exactly.
We do get a lot of context in this one, a lot of little details added to everything. But we start in this what looks like this pure darkness, and you have John Stewart, Guy Gardner talking with Hal Jordan. John represented by the color gold, Guy represented by the color orange, and Hal floating lit up pink as we saw in the last issue or the last time we saw him. And they're all kind of talking, wondering how he's pink.
Exactly, and I think purposely they put him upside down for most of the time. I think kind of to explain away the difference between John and Guy and Joe, who have kind of gotten used to what they're doing, and Hal, who is still very disoriented by what's happening to him.
Yeah, he has no control over his bearings whatsoever.
Right.
But she is happy to see everybody again, that's for sure. And she kind of just catches up John and Guy on what's going on since they last seen each other with Hector Hammond attacking,
Mhm.
with Todd being alive, with the obsidian attack and everything.
Yeah, they are basically, explaining everything that's going on, and they're going through the different levels, the different things of light. They bring up Hector Hammond, like you said. Joe is explaining to Guy and John exactly what happened with him and how he is kind of like what Hal was, but on steroids. He's so
And
he is
being controlled.
exactly. And then we go back again and we see Chase and we see Simon Baz.
Yeah, they're kind of standing at the place where the whole battle went down, looking up at the sky at the Green Lantern obelisk that they all entered is now taking off into the distance. And before they can really get their bearings about what just happened, what just occurred, what they just went through, a whole hit team shows up by way of Hector Hammond coming to clean up the area after the fact. And a big shootout takes place, and they hop in one of Simon's cars and they grab Todd's limp body, throw it in the car, and they take off.
Yep. And then they basically drive off to basically search for what's going on to see what they need to do and everything. But then we quickly switch back to again the luminal space, I believe is what you said they called it, and
Not
we
what I'm
see,
calling it.
yeah, exactly, and we see Tomar Ray. Now, if you remember, we see Tomar is the difference with this Green Lantern and the regular Green Lantern is we have, instead of character names, parts of their names actually indicate what level they are within their particular light. So we have like an Abin Sur. Abin is actually a title, like if you had a captain or lieutenant or something. And the same thing with Tomar.
It's an anomaly.
It's an anomaly, right? So, but we see Tomar Jen joins them inside the liminal space, which is inside the Green Lantern.
Which exists at any point in time in space.
Right.
It's kind of like its own little magic area in there.
Right. And he basically says, we get this very cryptic, very short discussion about how Mogo is still coming. So we hear that, and he needs to use some ammunition against Mogo, and John kind of determines that the people that the people that are trapped inside the Green Lantern are going to be basically the bullets.
Yeah. And we get a little bit more than that in this point too, because Joe keeps asking to take me back. I need to go get Chase. And Tomar-Re keeps pointing out, like, you're stressing the life of this one person when the life of the entire planet is in jeopardy. And it's only us that can stop Mogo. Take my planet, for example. And he gives the backstory about how Mogo came to his planet and seeing this dark star covering the sky. And his mother was actually chosen by the Green Lantern. And she came down, lit up with the red light and everything. And in the final moment before Mogo attacked Tomar-Re's home planet and destroyed it, he said that he took his power from his mom. But when you see the image, clearly his mom was giving him the power. Like, you can see her like breathing out the red light into little baby Tomar-Re to save him. So after that, he totally went rogue. He has this power. He has no instructions. He has no guidance. He just has rage. And he went out and he started killing every dark star he could come across. He's taking out anybody from Oa that he can come across, just going through the cosmos, trying to get revenge on Mogo. And that's what led them to this group of lanterns here today, with Tomar-Re in the obelisk that is a weapon and wanting to use them as the bullets.
Correct. And so we see John gets in his face saying, I know what you're doing. I know what the bullets are. We can't let you do this. Tomar is like, yeah, well, it's going to happen anyway. And then we see, speaking of the Dark Stars, we then see the Dark Stars attack the Green Lantern.
Yeah, a couple of them pull up, say, hey, you there, come on out. And they all teleport out. And when I say they all, I mean all of them except for Tomar-Re and Joe Mullen, because Tomar-Re has other plans for Joe Mullen as well. He wants a Green Lantern there, but he wants one there so that he can remote control it, basically. And he starts seeping into her will and corrupting it so that he can drive her around as a vessel. He has all kinds of plans, and none of them involve teamwork, at least not voluntary teamwork.
Right. So we're led to believe during this issue that Joe says that the green is more powerful than the red, which is what Tomar-Re is, but because Tomar has more experience with the red, it kind of offsets any power type thing that Joe may have over him.
And he also points out that it's the Owens that came up with that standard. I'm not Owen.
Right.
Like, that standard means nothing to me. Nothing. So she manages to muster up enough strength to get one good shot off, and that's how the book ends, with a nice page splash of her doing a big fist construct and fisting Tomar-Re.
That's right. Exactly. Yeah, because what would a Green Lantern book be if at some point you didn't have a big green fist?
Someone's got to get fisted, Paul. It might as well be Tomar-Re.
And so that's where we leave it. Like you say, we'll have the big throwdown between Tomar-Re and Joe next issue. It seems like.
I gotta tell you, the art change up in here was to the good. I don't know if it's a 2-issue layover artist or what, but the art in here I thought was great. It hasn't been bad in my opinion, but I definitely enjoyed this style a little bit better. The stories that they gave us, the little detail and like answers to stuff and kind of progression, because we took an issue off to go see things from the perspective of the Dark Stars and everything. Right. So that helped out a lot with kind of Tomar's story. By the time he told his story, we had something to kind of bounce it off of, seeing how the Dark Stars act and how they're vicious and stuff. And man, it was a good issue. It was a really good issue.
It really was.
Tomar-Re's living up to the red rage, though.
I don't think it was quite as good as Absolute Superman, though.
It was nowhere near as good as Absolute Superman, my guy. Holy potatoes.
Exactly. If you recall, at the end of the last issue, Ra's al Ghul and Talia al Ghul awoke Teth Adam,
Yeah,
or
which
Black
apparently
Adam,
is bad news for everybody.
King Shazam,
Yeah.
and we see when we see Teth Adam at the end of the last issue that his suit looks familiar, kind of like the Superman suit as well.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get into that after this. But this issue does take place then.
Hmm.
Months ago, in a meat processing facility, we meet John Henry Irons, who is way more qualified to be working here, but a man down on his luck is just working the dirty job, fixing the machinery, doing whatever he's got to do. And it kind of gives you like this, man, this job sucks kind of moment scene where they tell him that a machine's down, we're waiting on parts. You got to go, we got to keep the cattle moving. You got to go do it manually. And he's like, come on, man. Like, no, you got to do it. They hand him a sledgehammer and he literally walks the front line, and because the machine's out, he's just having to put the animals down manually. So we meet him, and he is a genius. He is here because of that. He talks about how he's created patents and they've gotten yanked up by the Lazarus Corp. And he's a genius in a world that doesn't allow for him to be a genius, but he is. And he has a bone to pick with Lazarus Corp.
Correct. And then we jump back to where we were at the end of the last issue, and we see Teth Adam, who's basically, screaming at people, wanting to know, how long has he been out for?
Look at that.
How long was I left for dead? And
they tell him too. He doesn't like the answer.
Exactly. Yeah, they tell him.
And then he starts reeling at the noise, because this thousands of years later, there's cities, there's cars, there's trains and planes, and he can hear it, and the whole disorienting because of your powers kind of thing. Very similar to Zod and Man of Steel, when just overload. And Clark is trying to talk to him. Cal's like, hey, dude, it's cool, man. Relax, you'll be all right. You just need to calm. And then you get a little thing. It's like, and I'm fairly certain Superman never saw the punch. As soon as he said the word calm, Teth looks up, and then the next thing you see is just, what is it? Seconds later, 1,100 miles away, somewhere in Wyoming,
is where Superman lands, basically after the punch that he never saw coming. Back at the Lazarus, where the last Lazarus pit was, we see Talia and Raz again, all explaining about how. And John, who's saying basically, I need to end this threat. You guys have done me dirty. I'm gonna end this threat. And he basically starts to swing his hammer, and that's when Seth Adam basically says, "You." And that's when he starts to turn on Ra's al Ghul and Talia as well.
Yeah, exactly. Talia scoops up Talia. He is not afraid to use the dust of his homeworld, which the prophecy in the last issue, the prophecy in Teth Adam's origin story of the man who would stand with the clouds, who will wear the dust of his homeworld. It sounded like Superman until we see Teth Adam, and he's got they have a name for it. What do they call it here? The sands of. They call it the sands. It's not the dust of his homeworld like Clark. It's the sands of his homeworld or something like that. But he goes to scoop up Talia, and Raz steps in the middle. Like, yo, look, I'm Raz. I'm the Lord of all this stuff. I did some terrible things. I done woke up. I'm my bad. Like, hey man, we need to settle this all down, and we can figure it out.
Right. In discussing everything, Black Adam, or King Shazam, or Teth Adam, maybe you want to call him, he also brings up the fact he mentions the Brainiacs, which we saw in last issue as part of his origin.
They're the wizard.
Correct.
The wizards of the sands of the desert.
And then Raz basically tells him that he was their leader for approximately 8 days, and then he's been and that was more than 3,000 years ago. That kind of sets him off a little bit.
Yeah, he says the wizards that night in the desert, they granted his wish, but they also gave him the wisdom of Solomon, and that means he knows lies when he hears them, and he pretty much lights up Ra's al Ghul, and just his cape swirls him up, and he goes up in the air, and next thing you know, he's in pieces. He absolutely just slaughters Ra's al Ghul.
Correct. So huge ramifications, I'm sure, of the fact that Ra's al Ghul is now no longer.
About this time, Cal shows back up screaming, "What did you do?" Flying in, cape behind him, fist out, and you see this great page splash of the building, them going up from below it, clearly through all the floors and out the roof. Like, Dude, that's so
Yeah.
cool, that shot right there. How you can see like every floor crumbling as they're shooting up through it.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's out the roof. Like, what a great page that was.
Right, so we get the big, we get the fight in the air through the floors and everything.
The line from Black Adam right here. He looks at Superman and says, "Eyes of fire, strength beyond imagining, walks among the clouds, the dust of his home upon his back. Little child, who made you in my image?"
Right. And basically he does that whole thing where even though his suit is just like him, he basically does the argument that I'm nothing like you. Don't even say that because I'm nothing like you. Um, and because Black Adam calls him a cheap copy, and he's like, yeah, nothing like that. Um, uh, we get some more fighting. We see uh, Lois talking to Log, talking to Talia. And then we also get we see Superman come back again, and kind of just making sure that everything's okay with Lois.
Yeah, it gives her her possessions, her walkie or
Gives her
gun or
walkie.
whatever. It's like, here's your gun back. And he's like super sad that she went on this little walkabout to the Lazarus Court by herself and turned her transponder off and everything. And Talia takes a cheap shot at her, like, oh, he's mad at you.
Yeah.
And then Superman takes back off to the sky to try to go talk to Death Adam again. Like, bro, this isn't going to work.
Exactly.
And when he gets up there, he's doing exactly what you expect a 3,000-year-old Egyptian god to be doing. He's shaving.
Exactly.
Hands free.
Yeah.
You get this one panel. He gets up there and you just see, and you look in just the slightest little bit. Come on and focus. It has the 4 little S's right there by his beard, where it's sizzling off his beard. So now we have clean shaven Death Adam.
Hey, he's 3,000 years old. He's not a hobo.
Yeah, not a hobo. That beard had to smell funky.
Exactly.
But he comes up, he pulls up to him, tells him he's not there to fight. And I was like, oh, you speak my language? He's like, a little. I actually just went and read about 3,000 books real quick. Now I'm going to do the best that I can.
Which he does. He does some more talking. We flash back now to John Henry Irons, who is doing some explaining. He basically is being one of the things that we find out is that John Henry Irons actually helped create the Peacemaker helmet. We find that out at the beginning of the issue. That was one of the patents that you had mentioned that he basically had sold. So everything, all of the Peacemaker tech was basically created by John Henry Irons, and then once they didn't need him anymore, they basically kicked him to the curb, which is why he's so upset. But we see, the cops come and basically kind of do some things and say, hey, you know what, it's time to bring you in. And he's like, yeah, no, that's not going to happen. And he basically takes off. And he goes and he flies up towards Black Adam, and he uses his hammer, and he gives him a huge love tap right to the side of the head. Oh, there you go, right there.
It's about that time they go flying through the sky.
Yes. Faster and faster with each panel, from subsonic all the way to hypersonic, all the way through Gotham City. And look who that is, watching on from above. Kind of foreshadowing that we'll have a Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. Actually, we'll have a crossover of all of them, it seems like, come later this fall.
It's going to get there. Then they land with a huge explosion on a beach somewhere. Clark's down. Teth is up, smacking him around a few times. Steel gets up, little eye lasers, and he looks up, and about that time, backup shows up. My man. Yo, we had Hawkman and Black Adam. Let's freaking go. He says, well, what do you know? Nobody listens to me anyways. I've only been doing this for 80 years. Tell me something, kid. Is it just me? Or has this superhero thing gotten out of hand? And that's how we end it with all 4 of Steel, Superman, Hawkman, Black Adam all facing off, squaring off. No one's on anyone's team. Every one of them have their own agenda.
It's going to be a slobber knocker.
Dude, this is amazing.
Yeah, incredible way to end the issue.
Both issues, both books this week. But that whole issue was just amazing. I absolutely love Black Adam. I absolutely love the idea of Black Adam being a Superman foe more than anything.
Mhm.
It just I don't know. Obviously, the Hawkman stuff we've covered that like has been the coolest addition to the Superman book yet. Now it's like right on top of it, you got Black Adam. Like this is these last 3 issues have been my favorite 3 issues of the whole Superman thing so far. It did a great job of like rolling in at its own pace, establishing itself,
Mhm.
giving us the backstory, showing us the nature of Superman, blah 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 blah. And now we're cooking. Like we thought we were like really doing something. Now we're really doing something.
Yeah, it really is. It seems like it's kind of like a snowball, in that rolling downhill is it started off slower. And to your point, they didn't try to push everything in the first 6 or 10 issues, but as it's rolling and it's getting going, it's now bringing in more and more, and that's just accelerating. um,
Mhm.
how fast and how wide and how expansive this whole universe is, that they're creating it for each of these characters.
I'm
um,
loving it.
yeah, absolutely. um, but that's going to do it. Again, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget the notification bells so you're alerted whenever we upload new content, and leave us a comment so let us know how we're doing. But that's going to be it for this edition of DC Comics Deep Dive. We will be back next week with, I believe it is Absolute Batman number 20. So we'll
And
get
that's
to
it. That's
the
all.
Robin
That's all.
and
Finally, that's it.
is it is that it? I think it's Absolute Martian Manhunter number 11, I believe too. Uh, it's almost over. It's almost over. But we'll see you next week. As always, I am Paul. He is Mark.
But we are Legion.
And you're in all being Sector 2815.